All right, hello and welcome to Joe's Life 1. This is Joe, and today we'll be doing a knife review on the K-Bar Becker BK2. And probably the first thing you're going to notice looking at that knife is that, Joe, it has absolutely no use on it. Well, yeah, you're right. It's part of the problem. We'll get to that. I bought this knife 2016, late 2016, early 2017. I think I paid probably about $70 to $75 for it. And see, the thing is when you purchase this Becker BK2, they were touting it as being a jack of all trades, all-in-one survival knife. And you get the knife and it comes with Zytel scales and a Kydex sheath. And the Zytel scales were absolute garbage. They were slippery, uncomfortable to hold, and the sheath, Kydex sheath, was not very good. So what you're doing really is you're paying $75 for a project knife that you're going to put another $100 into. So $175 knife. That knife is not worth $175. It's, in my opinion, not even worth $75. Okay. I do like the Micarta Scales, which I paid about 50 bucks for. They're very comfortable. That's one thing I do like, is the scales and how it feels in your hand. Feels very nice. The new sheath is okay. It's not amazing. It's okay. But basically you're going to put another $100 into this knife just to get it up and running. And then when you have it up and running, you'll notice I haven't used it at all. It just sits there. It is too bulky of a knife to do any fine work with. You can't do any fine work with it. It's too bulky. It's not long enough for batoning or chopping, because if you're batoning, you need the wood. You need to have it go all the way through the wood, and it doesn't do that. The log. And if you're chopping, I'd rather have something a little bit longer, like a machete or a parang or something, something like that. It was going to be my kind of camping, hiking, that type of stuff knife. But, the knife that actually gets the most time on that is the Benchmade Bushcrafter, which I don't even think this should be called the Bushcrafter. It doesn't have a Scandi grind. This should be called like the Benchmade Bug Out. And the Bug Out should be called the EDC or Everyday Carry. But don't get me started on that. I love this knife, the Bushcrafter. This knife gets a lot of times. Got the S30V steel. Very nice. Something like the SE Camp Lore, right? It's got the nice micarta, a little bit smaller Scandi grind. I love that knife. That gets some use too. Suggested alternatives to this knife would be like an Ontario Rat Series or a Tops SE, which I've got right there. This knife does have a couple more negatives to it too. The covering is not my favorite, but the steel is a 1095 steel, which will a carbon steel, which will I think it might be chromium. I'm not sure. You have to look that up. It's a 1095, and it will rust on you. And then on top of that, it being a survival knife, doesn't really have anywhere to strike a ferro rod. I guess some people do it off of the choil there, but I had to grind a spot on the top there to strike your ferro rod. There's a couple positives. The Pummels very nice on this thing. I do like that Pummel. I mean, we're talking about 1/4 inch of steel, so this thing is just solid, and you can smack things with it, and it's not going to have any problems. I do like the end of the handle here. It's got kind of a little bit of a bulb on there for chopping. It's not going to come out of your hand. But that being said, it's too big and bulky of a knife to be a good jack of all trades, and it's not long enough to be a good chopping knife or a good batoning knife, in my opinion. Becker does make a BK7, I believe, but it's not. I mean, this thing was touted to be the end all, and that BK7 is a little bit different, and it's not quite what. Look, Ethan Becker does make some very nice knives. I just don't think the BK2 is one of them. And I think that K-Bar makes some very nice knives, but just this isn't it. It's a $175 project knife is what it is. And it doesn't even come out to be that amazing at the end. So anyways, that's my suggestion. I would not purchase the BK2. These aren't all going to be positive reviews on knives. The one positive is the Micarta Scales, and that's about it. Anyways, this has been Joe's Life. This is Joe. Trying to do one review a day here while the COVID-19 thing's going on. And thank you very much. Have a good one.